Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, these are the most common social media apps that you probably have installed on your phone. Whenever you find yourself bored, let's say you're waiting in line at the grocery store, stuck in a traffic jam, or on the bus going home, you just let the time pass with a quick scroll on your phone. Then this quick browsing will turn into hours and hours of screen time exposure, making your smartphone usage no longer just a pastime activity, but more of a habit. Over the years, many people became more exposed to social media. In April 2022, just on Facebook alone, there were about a whopping 2.9 billion active users. The main culprit? The COVID global lockdown started in March 2020. Since everyone was advised to stay home, many people spent more time in front of their phones to communicate with their loved ones and entertain themselves. But even before the COVID pandemic, mindless scrolling and doom scrolling on social media was already an issue to many people, maybe including you. It may seem harmless to just browse online, but little did you know there are a lot of things happening in your brain you wouldn't even notice at first. So if you want to find out what happens to your brain when you mindlessly scroll on your phone all day long, continue watching, and grab a pen and paper for some note-taking. Number 1. It triggers your limbic system. The limbic system is the part of the brain that is responsible for your behavior and emotions. Together with the automatic nervous system and the reticular activating system, it works to help you process your emotions. As you may know, social media is filled with posts and updates from your friends and people you follow online that are both positive and negative. If you continuously scroll for no apparent reason at all, you are just letting yourself get exposed to all this stuff you can see. Staying longer scrolling online impacts how your brain regulates your emotion. Once you read something negative, that is when your emotions can get triggered. This is the reason why you tend to get upset easily about the things you see on your newsfeed and fight someone there in the comment section or post something negative. If you think you are easily affected by everything you see online, you should use the application intentionally and protect your peace. Mental health matters. But there are also parts of social media that increase the release of dopamine, or the happy hormone, which makes you resist putting it down and prompts you to scroll for more. Number 2. Information overload. Since social media is filled with all kinds of news, updates, and entertainment, your brain can get overwhelmed with all this information. The human brain can only process a certain amount of information at a time. If you keep scrolling on your newsfeed, you are filling your brain with all the posts you see and read. It will send a signal to the brain that can affect its motivational system. It explains why you cannot get off browsing or scrolling, even if you know you should be doing other important tasks. Your brain has already been compromised with the overwhelming information and cannot take any more, causing you to just continue with your mindless scroll. Number 3. Lose attention span. Mindless scrolling can also cause you to lose your attention span. In a 2015 study conducted by Microsoft, they found out that humans only have around 8 seconds of attention span, and it is possible to get shorter over time. In a research done in Canada, 2,000 people were surveyed and another 112 agreed to undergo EEGs to study their brain activity. From this study, Microsoft concluded that since the development of mobile phones in the year 2000, people's attention span has lowered from an average of 12 seconds to 8 seconds. With easy access to social media using smartphones, more people can easily get distracted by the multiple forms of content in these applications and using instant messaging. Because of this, it will lead to an inability for people to focus deeply and process critical thinking. Number 4. Inability to deep focus. Addiction to social media can cause the brain to experience so-called motivational paralysis. It is a kind of defense mechanism of the brain from feeding it with too much information in a short amount of time. Since the brain is already preoccupied with social media, it will cause you to lose interest in more important matters such as studying, reading, or even taking time to sort out your emotions and feelings. Aside from deep focus, sleeping problems will also be more concerning. Our brain needs enough rest, and it can only have this kind of refreshing break when we are sleeping, so the next day we can function and focus on our daily tasks and chores well. If this habit continues to persist, negative long-term effects are possible, which leads us to the last point on what happens to your brain when you mindlessly scroll. Number 5. Cognitive decline. Research shows that people who are too exposed to social media or are heavy users are prone to shrinking some parts of their brain. This is known as neuroplasticity, and this change affects the cognitive function of the brain. People who often use social media for long hours daily have a higher risk of memory deficits, And it is quite alarming, especially for the younger generation who, at an early age, are more exposed to social media technology. In similar research made by Microsoft, 77% of people aged 18 to 24 often grab their phones to occupy their attention. Just imagine what can happen to the cognitive skills of these people as they grow old. According to the World Psychiatric Association, frequent long-term use of social media affects the part of the brain responsible for memory and language. It has a similar effect on elderly people suffering from their cognitive health. But why do you mindlessly scroll? Are you just bored? Do you have FOMO? Or do you just want to entertain yourself with all the fun stuff social media apps have to offer? Here's why. The short answer is curiosity. In a 2021 study published by Neuron, researchers discovered that there are parts of the brain that light up every time you mindlessly scroll on your social media. Once you start mindlessly scrolling, there are parts of the brain that encourage you to push through and see more stuff, click more, and scroll further down. Regardless of whether what you are seeing is positive or negative, you just can't get enough of what you are currently seeing and tend to look for more. And this is what these social media apps hope happen the moment they design their platforms, the same way as the slot machines in the casino. It is just so addicting, it continues to release more dopamine in your body, and it is hard to resist. So do not believe yourself when you say you will just check that notification that pops up on your phone. It's a trap, and more likely you will find yourself scrolling for hours now without you noticing it. To balance things out, social media is a useful tool to communicate with your loved ones and keep you up to date with current affairs. But if you use it without any intention at all, you might get lost in its endless pathways with no exit doors. If you want to stop your mindless scrolling habit on social media, you can try to do other more productive stuff, or pursue the things you are passionate about. We have a full video that can help you find your passion, so check it out. For more informative and motivational videos, subscribe to Psychology Shark and feed your mind with things on how to improve yourself. Don't forget to like the video and leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.